Okay, so for today's video I'm using a Perfect Fit harness. I like to use those because I pop them on over the side, they don't go over the head of the dog. If we're working with dogs that have harnesses that go over the head, then there are a couple of other things we can do, and I'll do another video. So the objective of this video is to show you how we can condition our dogs to see the harness as a really nice positive thing. In my experience, the two biggest factors that dogs may be sensitive to harnesses: number one, fear; number two, pain. I would always recommend, and I always say to my clients, check your dog, make sure they haven't got ear infections, they haven't got issues around the neck area at all. If in doubt, then you need to go and get it checked by the vet. Once we've ruled that out, we can then start to work with the harness, what we call counter conditioning. Okay. What that means is, at the moment, your dog has what we would describe as a conditioned emotional response. And that might present as moving away from the harness, trembling, growling, barking, and as I say, running, generally running off, and presenting symptoms associated with fear. The way we can do that, or we can modify that, is to present the harness, which we would say is an aversive item, with a positive item, so something your dog finds really nice. For this exercise, I'm using some chopped up pate, tiny pieces. And what I would say is, when we do use food for this exercise, we can redistribute their main meals for it. We don't have to give them extra food. So we could use their kibble, but redistribute that meal throughout the day as we do the training. The other thing that you need to be aware of is the way the dogs learn. Dogs do not learn the same way as we do. If you learn a skill in a room as a human, or in one place, you could go to the other place and carry out pretty much the same skill that you've just learned. Dogs don't learn that way. So it's really important that when you do this training, any training in fact, that you teach them in lots of different environments. So with this exercise, to start with, we're going to be indoors. Nice quiet environment, nothing else going on. We're making it really easy for our dogs to succeed. Distractions can be added way down the line. We're nowhere near that at this stage. We've ruled out pain. We've set the environment up. There's nothing else going on in the world. It's nice and quiet, no distractions for the dog. We have our treats. We understand that we have to train in different areas of the house to start with. We also have to do it at different times, so don't be predictable. Do it at different times of the day, quick couple of minutes, and then we're ready to start. Okay, so Angus, I'm going to call Angus over. So what we need to do to start with, I'm not bothered about the dog sitting, nothing at all. So I'm just going to let him have a little treat. I'm going to show him that I pay really well. I've got my harness here behind my back, and in my pocket here, I've got some really tasty treats. So all I'm going to do is bring the harness out to the front, let Angus see it, and give him the reward. Let's do that slowly again. So the harness comes out to my waist, Angus sees the harness, I give him the reward, and then I remove the harness and put it back behind my back. So what you're doing in effect is you're presenting the harness, and at the same time, you're presenting something which Angus really likes. So we're starting, what I said earlier, to counter the conditioned response that your dog already has, because at the moment they think that's fearful. What we're doing now is we're actually presenting that fearful object, but we're also presenting at the same time something that they really like. Harness comes out, at the same time we reward. Harness out, treat, harness back. Harness out, treat, harness back. So at this stage, we're not touching him, we're not doing anything. What we're actually doing is breaking down the process of the harness going towards the dog and touching the dog. So once the dog's happy with that, we can then bring the harness out and just hold it slightly in front of us, reward, take the harness back. Bring the harness out, reward, take the harness back. I'm not looking for any behaviour from the dog other than to stay nice and calm. If your dog starts to get nervous or show signs of fear at this stage, then you need to go back to the previous stage until your dog is comfortable with that. Harness out, reward out. Harness out, reward. Depending on the level of fear that your dog represents, this can take some time. So don't rush. This is really important. If you suddenly think, oh, my dog's fine, and you lunge forward and put the lead on, you could ruin all that really hard work that you've done. That's the first 2 phases of changing or modifying your dog's emotional response to a harness. Just to recap what I've discussed in the video, first thing is we need to rule out pain. That's really, really important. Set the environment up. Make sure you've got some really high level food. And if we do it nice and steadily and at the dog's pace, it's extremely effective. That takes as long as it takes. Okay, so there's no rush, every dog's different. And once we've reached that stage, once our dog is quite comfortable with the harness coming out, about 6 inches in front of the waist, we're ready to move on to the next stage.